Rockstars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here with my good buddy Jay Ragsdale. We had a part 1 to this video, so if you haven't watched that, I highly suggest watching that. But basically, a real quick introduction of Jay. Jay is a student of mine, was for many, many years. Now he's in the band Brave Town, opened up for 21 Pilots and Roses, and have 300,000 hits on with their song Denim on Spotify. Great guy, great player, great singer, and he experienced some pain that's not unusual, or that is unusual when it comes to guitar playing. You know, we always have pain, fingertips, playing bar chords, all that good stuff. So the part 1 of this is equally as important as this part 2, where we're going to show you how to do these exercises, because you might be doing these exercises in vain if you're trying to fix a pain that's not there, or you may severely need these exercises because they have changed your playing.
Well, and I'd even add, you know, these exercises don't hurt you, you know, in that they can build your dexterity too. So these exercises, I don't know.
Do them anyhow.
Because they
I'm going to start doing them.
Yeah, actually. I know we kind of talked about that before.
I'm going to start doing them.
They're helpful to anyone. You may not need them. Not everyone's going to need them for sure. But
we're talking about prevention anyhow. We're talking about prevention. We're talking about alleviating this pain. So yeah, some of these are good. So
Okay.
So do them. Okay, even though I said you may not need to do them. All right. So let's get into this, Jay. So you have today for us. You've got 2 like physical tools.
Yeah, I've got a couple tools I'll show you. I've got a pretty important stretch you need to do before and after you play, and then kind of a couple life changes or things that you may be doing that you don't realize you're doing that you need to how you sleep, how you play guitar, really impacts how you playing and your pain that you could change, that I had to change big time. So,
okay.
Kind of 5 different.
What do you want to start with?
I'll start with a stretch. So I said this in the previous video, but carpal tunnel is kind of compresses the nerve along your arm. It's it gets really tight from playing or any number of things. Golfers, tennis players get this too.
Now, do you know what tendonitis is? Is that different?
Tendonitis is different. Tendonitis, and I had both, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
It's when your tendons are irritated.
Okay.
It's inflamed. It's kind of it's really tight as well, but it's not this nerve.
Gotcha.
Carpal tunnel, you more feel through tingling in your fingertips, just like that. Maybe some wrist pain. Tendonitis, you're more gonna feel in the muscles of your arm.
Okay.
But this first main stretch, and I would also just like to say that one thing I said this in the last video, my physical therapist said that changed my mind is you have to realize that musicians are athletes, and we're the only athletes that don't stretch before we play.
Right.
But we go for hours. We play. You're using our muscles constantly, but we think we can just do it and just play for hours and for years and never have repercussions. And that was a mistake, a flaw that I had. But so this main stretch you're going to do is kind of stretch the top of your arm and the bottom of your arm, where this wrist, and kind of relieve some pressure. So you're going to take your arms. I'm going to take my right arm, kind of stretch it out so you can see it, kind of have your palm as vertical as you can. You're going to take your other hand and you're going to stretch it back. Not to where it hurts, but definitely to where there's a stretch. And you're going to hold that from about 15 to hopefully 30 seconds. 30 seconds is the best. You're going to feel a nice stretch along the top of your arm that's taking some pressure off your median nerve and just stretching your muscles. Then after you do that, you're going to flip it. So you're going to take your hand just like it was vertical and then put it downward, take your hand and pull. You're going to feel a different stretch kind of around the top. The top one you kind of feel it on the bottom. This one you're going to feel on the top.
Yep.
Of your tendons and stuff like that. You can hold that 15 to 30 seconds. You're going to do the same with the other arm, up and feel that stretch and down like that. This is a stretch that, I was recommended, and I would recommend that you do before you play. Kind of warm up a little bit, get about 30 seconds on each, so it's going to be about 2 minutes. And if you're like me, you expect to just pick up a guitar and play it, but this is pretty important. It's just a couple minutes, if you're super rushed for time, you're going to do 15 seconds, fine, it's better than nothing, but especially if you play a lot. And then I would do it after, just to warm down, for 30 seconds. That will go a long way to just opening up your nerve, opening up this median nerve, in your tendons, keep things getting too tight. Just that basic exercise.
I mean, I can actually feel that.
Yeah, you feel better already. It increased also you'll find that your hands won't tight up so much. You'll be a better player. All these things are going to help your, playing as well, which is important. So I would do that. If you have to know one exercise, do that exercise. Just toy around with it, get used to it. So the other thing, other couple things I'll get into are some actual tools that can help you. The first thing, and these you can buy online. We're going to have a link below to where you can buy these. They're really cheap, really helpful.
Right.
So these are called Chinese therapy balls. You can find them for like, $5 or something like that online. They're so cheap. The shipping is going to be more expensive than the actual, these little orbs.
Yeah.
But what these do is these relax your, your hand and your kind of muscles, your wrist muscles, while also building them at the same time. My bass player in my band had this, carpal tunnel pain pretty bad lately. He's an amazing player, and these helped him more than anything. So these are, kind of life-saving.
Can you show us like what you do?
Yeah, so you're gonna hold them in your hand, and you're just gonna kind of rotate them around using your thumb and your fingers. So you're using dexterity. It takes a little effort. You can do it the other way around. Doing both ways kind of
like tapping
things.
your fingers on a desk.
Definitely. You can hear little like bells in them. Some don't have them. If you find that annoying.
Which makes them magic.
Yes, exactly.
They're
magical
magic
Chinese
balls.
therapy balls.
Yeah.
Medicine is magic. And so what you can do if you want to take it up a level too is if you can move them without touching. See if you can see that. It's pretty hard. I can kind of do it one way.
Yeah.
But if you can, you should send us a video or a comment if you can do this and do it both ways without touching because it's pretty dang impressive.
Yeah.
So this will build your dexterity.
And just like I talk about in my courses, and I have some videos here on YouTube about when I talk about when you're not playing guitar to have some putty or something to just be working.
Absolutely,
and it doesn't
putty
have
is great
to be.
too.
It doesn't have to be something with a lot of force. It just, in fact, in regards to this, it's probably better to have very little force, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a light. You're not. The point is to keep from being tight or clenched.
Right.
You're
So
just
you're thinking the opposite.
Absolutely. Putty would be great. This is something that my friend did while he was driving, just while you're watching TV. You don't even think about it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It helped me. I actually built my dexterity. I could play, things I couldn't play
It's like
before.
these fidget spinners.
Yeah.
They could get something like that and
the new
be
fidget
way
spinner.
cooler.
Yeah, definitely. The guitar cooler. So the other tool that you can buy, they're also pretty cheap. You can buy at a pharmacy, you can buy online. We'll have a link below. But there's kind of just these like wrist, braces, straps. And what these do, they kind of have a hard, it's not soft, that kind of hard little plate right here that what it does is it keeps your wrist in the right position. You'd think like relaxing your wrist would do that, but think about your median nerve. What you're really doing is putting more pressure on it. About right here is actually where it's the most relaxed and takes the pressure off and promotes healing. But we don't hold our we don't go around holding our wrists and arms like that.
Right,
So
yeah.
where these come in is they kind of keep your hand locked in that position, especially if you're sleeping, or driving. You can kind of play with them, as well. I know people, like my bass player, play live and have these on, or something like that. They're pretty comfortable, but they help. Some of these things help me immediately. These things, immediately I could feel a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Keep them pretty tight. I had to wear them when I was sleeping, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So these are pretty
And if you're in a bowling league, these are essential.
Yeah, and you're gonna look cool too. You'll fit right in. You can get them colored.
That's right.
Get a little.
This guy's gonna hit us. This guy's gonna get a strike.
Get your guitar stage icon put on them.
That's right.
Whatever you want to look cool with, decals.
Okay, now, and I guess it'd be hard to tell because you were probably doing all these things at once. But is there one thing that you felt was
between
more...
the therapy and the wrist? If I had to choose, it's hard though. Because the wrists helped me more. These helped me because I had some sleeping habits, stuff like that. But
So you wore them while you were sleeping?
Yeah, I wore them while sleeping. I wore them all the time while I was driving. Driving would hurt. I mean, everything would hurt. It's the pain just persisted through everything. Wow. But like my bass player swears by these. Okay. So these helped him. So
I used to use these a lot, but I was never thinking about them from a guitar perspective. I was thinking about keeping my hands moving, and it's like a fidget spinner. It's just
keeps your mind.
Fun. Keeps your mind. It's like a meditative type of thing you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are some pretty important cheap tools that you can do. You can order really quickly that can help you. And the last couple things I kind of wanted to go over were just some kind of more like life changes. Things that you needed to be aware of. One thing is a kind of a guitar.
I don't have a guitar with high action, but
exactly so. Let's say you have a really high action, which means that the distance between your strings and the fret, the fretboard, if they're really high off, some people like them that way, but if they're too high like my guitar was, I thought it was just making me stronger, but it was, making me weaker. You need to go in a local guitar shop, or if you're really handy yourself or have a friend, maybe, work with the action and bring it down. But if you're having to put more pressure while you're playing on your hands, it's just going to wear them down over time. And so be careful of that. Be a little careful by how hard you're playing. I strummed really hard all the time when I was playing because it was fun. I wasn't thinking about it and I was young, but... and honestly, it was messy too. It's a be a better player. You don't want to just crank 100%. Out all the time. You want to careful, like have fun and jam out, but you want to be intentional with how you're playing. And so those are a couple things. How you're playing your guitar. If you're just killing it, if you're just slamming too hard, it's probably not good for your guitar. It's probably not good for you.
Yeah, it's funny when they ask these home run hitters how hard they're hitting the ball, like a 1 through 10, they'll typically answer like a 6 or a 7. Like that's how hard they're hitting the ball. And this seems to be a pattern in a lot of things. I mean, when you watch a basketball player throwing from the 3-point line or beyond, it's not like they're like, rah! You know what I mean?
Exactly,
I mean, there's so much. They're just thinking accuracy, and that takes a lot to mentally think about in the beginning as a new player, especially if you're playing rock music. It's like, it's not all about this. I mean, you see Dave Grohl or these guys just wearing their guitar out. It looks like that, but in reality, they are not hitting the strings hard.
Really
you break the strings like that.
You learn to make it look like you're pounding into it, but you're not.
So these guys aren't doing that. So like when you see your favorites playing and it looks like, I got this grimace on their face, it's because they're getting so much into the music. They're typically not pressing the strings very hard. You'd hear them go out of pitch. They'd get carpal tunnel. There's all sorts of problems that would happen. So one thing that you should be thinking about when you're playing, whether your action's high or low, if you can get it lower, that'd be great. But to be thinking about it really has, as your technique develops, you don't need as much strength. And in the beginning, when your technique is poor, people really emphasize with over pressing down. And that's, I think, a lot of people get into troubles in that way.
Yes, all true. And the last thing, that kind of caught me by surprise, honestly, is how you sleep. So, think of sleeping is a big chunk of everyone's day, whether you sleep for 4 hours or 10 or the, recommended 8. What your body is doing is pretty important to pay attention to. So, my physical therapist asked me, like, how are you sleeping? Do you sleep on your arms? Do you sleep, holding your wrists in a weird way? And I went home and kind of paid attention to how I was, laying around. And I was like, I really am laying on my wrists or my arms. I'm putting pressure on them. And so that's 8 hours a night when instead of recuperating or resting my arms, I'd wake up in the morning and get hurt more.
Wow.
Because I'm laying on them. I'm putting pressure on that median nerve or my tight, tendons. And so, if you're doing that, I recommend you pay attention to how you sleep. Make sure you're not laying on your arms. Make sure if you can lay on your back, I think is the best one. Kind of spread them out. Like I said, if it's really hard for you, these tools helped me a lot while I was sleeping. Wearing them forced my wrists into a better position to where I would wake up feeling better instead of worse.
Yeah.
And just not laying on them as much as you can, because you can do more damage while you're sleeping than actually helping it, which is
wow.
So you don't think about. But those are kind of 5
cool.
main things that if you're having this pain or you really want to make sure you don't have this pain, you do those 5 things, you'll be set. Those are the big 5 things that helped me get to where I can now play again and play guitar and shred and write songs and jam out on stage again.
Nice.
Which I didn't know if I'd ever get back to that place. So I'm very thankful for these things. I can attest to their importance.
I'd say so. So you were worried.
Yeah, I was.
And
scary.
how long did it take?
So some of these things are some immediate effects. Some of these things I felt, some help. Like
so that's encouraging.
Stuff. Yeah, it's encouraging. If you're having pain, some of these can help you a little bit. Now it's not going to go away. You're going to have it takes consistent practice. It took me about a year. Now I was in a really bad space. I mean, everyone's going to take a year, but I did these habits, built habits, was doing them over and over again, and eventually, I got to where I am today, where I was able to dig my way out of it, but.
And so let me ask you this: how is your playing changed as well?
Yeah, like Eric was saying, I don't jam out as hard anymore. I'm more accurate on. I'm a better guitar player having gone through these things than I was before, which is I'm thankful for now.
More accurate.
I'm more accurate. I'm more intentional about it. I think about how I'm playing. I my mindset has just changed. In guitar and outside of it. And so like I said earlier, we're athletes. We got to pay attention to that. We got to treat our bodies well, take care of them when we're pushing them hard. Especially if you take this seriously and you love guitar and you want to be great.
Yeah, nice.
These are important things to know.
Nice. Okay, so to recap, there's the stretch.
There's the main stretch,
which is the only exercise, but that alone, I can feel that's doing exactly
30
what it needs
seconds
to do.
each side, both hands, both wrists.
2 minutes.
Get some tension, not too hard, but you want to feel it tight. The two tools.
The Chinese therapy.
Chinese therapy orbs.
And we're going to have links for these down below, too.
Yeah, and then, these kind of wrist straps. There are a couple different kinds. You can find them at Walgreens or online. We'll have some that you can just kind of know that.
And they're just wrists. They're not made for guitar. They're just wrist.
Yeah, they're just wrists in general.
Just in general, wrist health.
And then kind of the bridge of your guitar, like whether it's too close, paying attention to how you're playing, how hard you're playing, and the way your instrument is shaped, and then how you sleep and how you're kind of going about your day, how you're holding your wrists and your hands and your arms.
Nice.
So
nice. I'm gonna start doing
holistic.
These. Yeah. I'm gonna start doing these. Like I said, I sometimes will feel a tingling. It's very rare. It's very rare. But when I do, I'm like,
who wants to have pain while
you play? And I do yoga and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's probably that I'm not stretching beforehand. Yeah.
Probably is how mine started.
Nice, brother. Thank you so much, man. I
Happy
really appreciate it. I'm sorry you had to go for it for this video.
Yeah, but
we
get
to
share.
reap the benefits.
Yep,
so thank you.
definitely.
So that's a sucky thing to go through, but it's nice that you're through it and you've managed to let a bunch of folks out there know when they should run into this problem, what to do.
Drop any questions. If you have exercises, things that have helped you,
leave
that below. Let's spread the love, spread the knowledge.
Yeah, if you like this video, hit thumbs up, hit subscribe, leave your comments below. Again, I'm suggesting for you to check with your doctor before you do any of these things. We're not endorsing these things any more than we're just telling you Jay's story and where he went to Vanderbilt, one of the top hospitals for this particular thing, and these are the tools that they gave him. So, but still, you may want to check with your doctor, okay? And my friends, as always, I'm here for you. This is my job. I love it. It's absolutely a blast. I'm on Facebook and Twitter, all those places where the kids hang out, and of course here on YouTube. So let me know how I can help you. If you haven't already, get into the free 30 lessons course. That's YourGuitarSage.com/30. We're also going to put more links down for Bravetown, which is Jay's band, and let us know how we can help. Eric Andreas, Your Guitar Sage here. Get out of here. Be kind to all beings. Don't trust the man, and play your guitar. See ya.